The first step is taken. After opening with a win over Brazil, USA continues their march towards redemption at the World Baseball Classic. But the path only gets tougher. Tonight, they face Great Britain, America's oldest rivalry, reborn on baseball's biggest international stage. The journey continues, the stakes rise, and the chase for the world title is just getting started.
Welcome, everybody, to the 2026 World Baseball Classic from Houston, Texas on Fox, presented by Capital One. After a victory over Brazil yesterday by a final of 15-5, and 4 months away from celebrating its 250th birthday, appropriately enough, America gets set to take on Great Britain, one of its oldest rivals in many forms and fashions. As we get set here in Pool B for the second game, Adam Amin, a couple of World Series champions, and A.J. Pierzynski and Adam Wainwright. Ken Rosenthal is with us as well. So a little bit of a slog towards the end, but we did see 15 runs, 17 walks drawn by this star-studded United States offense, and it all got started with the captain in the first inning yesterday.
If Mark DeRosa could have drew up a first inning better than the one he saw yesterday, I don't know what it was. Bobby Witt gets on with an infield single, and then the captain comes up and does what he's done so many times in his Yankee career, gets the United States off to a lead with a 2-run homer. That had to feel good, relax the boys, and get them ready for tonight against the Great Britain team that, hey, there's no Cal Raleigh, there's no Bobby Witt Jr., there's no Bryce Terang, there's no Byron Buxton. Oh, instead we'll just throw 4 other all-star players out there in Will Smith, Gunnar Henderson, Ernie Clement, Pete Crow Armstrong. This team is absolutely loaded on the offensive end, and it's one of Mark DeRosa's hardest things is balancing the at-bats.
And he's had to balance their pitching staff as well, including Tarek Skubal, the back-to-back Cy Young Award winner who goes tonight for his lone start of this WBC.
He does. And yesterday we saw USA's pitchers start off super crisp. Logan Webb, Michael Waka were in the strike zone, in and out when they wanted to be, up, down, in and out. But today we got the best pitcher in all of baseball, Tarek Skubal, going back-to-back Cy Young Awards winners. He has the best fastball changeup combination in the entire game. He is going to be a treat to watch. He is fired up to be here pitching for USA.
One of just 4 left-handers to win back-to-back Cy Young Awards. He will take the bump. The Tiger, who is going into free agency after this season. We'll hear more about Skubal from our Ken Rosenthal on the other side as Great Britain, in its second World Baseball Classic, takes on the United States next. Second game in Pool B for the United States. They'll have an off day tomorrow, take on Mexico on Monday, and then Italy on Tuesday. The Italians got a victory earlier today over Brazil after the United States beat Brazil yesterday. Great Britain coming off a loss to Mexico on Friday. The U.S. is the home team for this contest. Tarek Skubal is on the mound, and down to the field we go, and Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Adam. Sure, he's starting once instead of twice for Team USA, but Tarek Skubal has more at stake than any player in the WBC. This offseason, as a free agent, he might command $400 million. So if anything, after throwing 195 1/3 innings last season, plus 20 2/3 more in the playoffs, it's a surprise Skubal is pitching at all. American pitchers in the past routinely chose to skip the WBC entering their walk years, and the only previous U.S. pitcher to participate coming off a Cy Young was R.A. Dickey, who was then a 38-year-old knuckleballer. Skubal starting once is special enough. Adam?
We'll get the opportunity to go tonight against this Great Britain lineup. A couple of changes in the order, but Jazz Chisholm, a familiar face in the 2 spot. The new national is Harry Ford after being traded from Seattle. He has 3 of the 4 WBC home runs for Great Britain all time. Trace Thompson, longtime big leaguer, is in the 8 spot. A lot of AA and AAA talent in this Great Britain lineup, going at it today against the United States, just as they did in the 2023 WBC. Well, Great Britain 1-3 in 2023. They suffered one of those losses to the United States. Got a win over Colombia during that run. Jazz Chisholm and Harry Ford, the co-captains for this group. Tarek Skubal, first pitch to Nate Eaton, drills it deep left center field, and that is going to be off the wall, and into second base with a leadoff double goes Nate Eaton. The Virginia native and Boston Red Sox drills one, and it's a two-bagger on the first pitch of the game for the British. Initial call was a double. It did look like it may have gone over the top of that yellow line on that high wall in left center field near the Crawford boxes. And we'll get a review here.
Homer.
First pitch, that looks to be a home run. That's clearly off the railing over the yellow line. And how about Nate Eaton, the former Kansas City Royal and now Boston Red Sox, who had a home run last season for Boston, drilling one on the first pitch of the game.
He's dangerous. Fastballs middle in, especially coming into him from lefties. That's his strength. He cheated first pitch of the game. Terry School, you got to take your shots, AJ.
Crowds reacting to what they see on the Jumbotron, and the British feel like this should be a home run, which would be just the 5th ever in WBC play for Great Britain. Crew chief is Scott Berry.
Look, if I'm Great Britain, we know they're outmatched, they're outgunned, but be aggressive, and that's what their manager Brandon Marcelino said. Right?
After review, the call on the field is overturned. This is a home run.
What a start for the British. It's 1-0.
We saw this yesterday with Logan Webb. Gives up an early home run. Now, Tarek's just got to get back to work. So what? Who cares? Make pitches.
Well, the celebration in the British dugout. The Redcoats were coming. They have arrived with a 1-0 lead. The fact that it was a Boston Red Sox, the irony is not lost on us. Here is the New York Yankee Jazz Chisholm, and the Yankee swings through, and there's a strike on a 97-mile-an-hour Scooble fastball. Big cut from Chisholm, 0-2.
If I'm the British, I'm doing exactly what we've seen. You know Tarek Scooble's going to throw you strikes. What are you waiting around for? Strike to fall behind 0-1, 0-2? Attack him like they did.
Called strike 3. Chisholm goes down on 3 pitches. And there's the first out recorded by Scooble.
And Tarek's one of those guys where he's got such a great fastball. So many pitchers, when they throw a fastball and a guy takes a big rip at it, they'll come back with something slow. He's one of those pitchers where you take a rip at his fastball, he might throw 4 more in a row right afterwards.
So 1 down for Harry Ford, co-captain of this group, who got traded from Seattle to Washington this past offseason after debuting for the Mariners last year. Played just 8 games at the big league level, but was on the Division Series roster.
You see what Tarek Scooble did, though. Once he gave up that leadoff homer, yes, it's cool that Nate Eaton hit the homer. Now Will Smith and Tarek Scooble were like, oh, yeah, watch this changeup. Watch this slider to set up the 97.
Ball and 2 strikes on Harry Ford, a guy who has caught Scooble, obviously. These two were teammates for a short stint last season with the Mariners. Ford hit a home run yesterday. Or played against each other, I should say, not team. They were played against each other in that division series, Detroit and Seattle. Ford has 3 of the now 5 WBC home runs for Great Britain after his solo shot in their loss to Mexico yesterday. He pops this one up. In from third is Bregman, who has started both games at the hot corner. He has it for out number 2.
It's not just any changeup either, AJ. It's the best rated changeup in all of baseball. And when you have that to go with one of the best rated fastballs in all of baseball, that is a tough combination.
There's B.J. Murray, a AAA prospect for the Chicago Cubs.
But also Scooble sets it up so well. He throws in to righties as good as any lefty in baseball. Like that. He meant to go in, he missed away. But that changeup is set up because of the other pitches he's able to throw. Yes, it's a great pitch on its own, but you have to use other things to get to it.
On the ground towards short. To his left is Gunnar Henderson, who gets the start today. And he helps retire the side after the Nate Eaton home run off of Tarek Skubal on the very first pitch of the night. What a start for the British. They have the lead to the bottom of the first. Couple of changes, obviously, for the United States with the new starters, but Kyle Schwarber will slot up into the leadoff spot where he's very comfortable after hitting in the middle of the order yesterday. Bregman to the 2-hole. Judge still in the 3, or moves down to the 3 spot. Harper to the cleanup today. Smith and Henderson new additions. Anthony had a couple of RBIs in his WBC debut. Ernie Clement coming off a historic postseason, and it will be Pete Crow Armstrong rounding it out against Tyler Visa, born in Edinburgh, Scotland, a starter for Great Britain's only WBC win in 2023 against Colombia. And it will be Schwarber to lead things off. He has had a couple of home runs in the WBC, including one against Great Britain a few years back. On the ground towards second, and Jazz Chisholm, who's got it, up with it, and out number 1 at first.
Went to Edinburgh, Scotland this last year. Edinburgh. What a wonderful place.
Part of the 3 countries that make up Great Britain. England, Scotland, and Wales are the main island. That is Great Britain. The United Kingdom is Great Britain plus Northern Ireland. That is the political entity. And countries like the Bahamas, where Jazz Chisholm hails from, are part of the British Commonwealth. Here's Alex Bregman. He'll take ball 1. Bregman was hitting behind Schwarber in the 5 spot yesterday. Drew 4 walks of the 17 that the U.S. drew. A changeup floats in at the top of the zone for a strike. It's even at 1. Visa, the 31-year-old, deals to a man of a similar age in Bregman. And another high strike. There was a slider, a changeup, a fastball, a curve, and a sinker. That fastball and slider combo make up about 2 out of every 3 pitches he throws. And there's the fastball upstairs. Nine minor league seasons for Tyler Visa. Topped out at AAA between Philadelphia, San Diego, and Minnesota. Bregman fouls it away, still 2-2. Bregman in his second World Baseball Classic today, hitting in front of Aaron Judge. Line towards third and caught by Johnson. And there are 2 away here in this bottom of the first inning.
Well, the U.S. has hit 2 balls right on the nose. Unfortunately, they've hit them right at the Great Britain defenders. They'll just take those, learn from them, and hope to continue to maybe get the ball in the air.
Quite the ovation for Judge. Couple of walks to go along with that 2-run home run he hit in the first inning yesterday. Of course, also faced 17-year-old Joseph Contreras, who broke his bat and got him to ground into a double play. One of the highlights for Team Brazil in what was a 15-5 United States victory. Judge waves in front of that changeup. It's 1-1.
You have to also remember that these U.S. guys are used to having all the information on a lot of these pitchers they're facing. Visa hasn't pitched in professional ball for a little while, so they're going up there kind of blind.
A bouncing ball to the left side, cut off by the third baseman Johnson. He'll spin a throw to retire Judge. So a 1-2-3 inning thrown by Tyler Visa. And after Great Britain hit a home run in the first, they come to bat in the second, leading 1-0. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Nutrafol, the official hair growth partner of Major League Baseball. Well, the Clydesdales, part of the pregame festivities here at Dyken Park in Houston, Texas, where Great Britain jumped on Tarek Skubal with a first pitch home run from Nate Eaton. Similar to what we saw yesterday when Manny Ramirez's son Lucas went deep as the first batter of the game for Brazil. Logan Webb settled down nicely after that. Tarek Skubal hoping to do the same tonight.
Well, that does is anger a pitcher, right? Wayno, give up a homer the first one. I'm going to lock this in real quick.
It does lock you in a lot of times. You'd rather not do it, but it does work sometimes.
Mark DeRosa looks on, and there is a strike to Christian Robinson. It's quickly 0-2 on the Arizona Diamondback prospect. Ball in 2 strikes. Robinson was the DH yesterday against Mexico, playing left field today. A little check swing roller to the first base side. Harper has it, and he'll take it himself. So 4 straight retired after the first pitch homer. Clayton Kershaw looks on.
That is such a cool thing for him and for Team USA. Playing for your country, WBC, it's just as much fun as you could ever have, and then not having to worry about reporting back for spring trainer of the season. Man, he's having a blast.
Finishes his major league career with back-to-back World Series titles. Yvonne Johnson, the Atlanta native, has his bat broken on a grounder to third, and Bregman, the former Houston Astro, throws him out. And Johnson, the 4th-round pick by the Cincinnati Reds 7 years ago, is retired. 5 in a row set down after the homer.
Just watching DeRosa, he is so much more calm this year.
As Wiley takes a breaking ball strike.
He was a basket case in the 2023 games. He was so nervous about every little thing. Seems much more control here.
First manager to go back-to-back for Team USA. A bevy of superstars at his disposal, including Tarek Skubal, who blows a fastball by the minor league journeyman Justin Wiley, and it's 1-2.
Every time they show a British fan on the Jumbotron, it's just boos the whole stadium. It's crazy. This atmosphere is amazing.
Check swing. Wiley went around, and boy, Skubal locked it in since the homer. A 9-pitch frame here in the second. He strikes out Wiley to finish off a 1-2-3 frame. Show your country pride at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic World Baseball Classic jerseys, caps, t-shirts, and more. MLBshop.com, the official source for all your World Baseball Classic gear. I don't know if the Eagle heads come included with a purchase, but feel free to find out.
How do you see the game in those? Can you see through the eyes?
I would hope that if you're going to sell those, that there would be holes for the eyes. Here is Bryce Harper leading it off in the second, and goes after the first Visa offering and fouls it back. Harper drove in a run in the 7-run 9th inning for Team USA. Part of that 15-5 win. Playing in his first World Baseball Classic, the 2-time NL MVP. Takes outside. A ridiculous amount of talent on this USA team. 63 All-Star nods, 7 MVPs, 6 Cy Youngs, 11 Gold Gloves. Harper fouls a fastball back. It's 1-2.
I'm impressed with Visa. How many years has it been for him?
It's 4 years since he played in affiliated baseball.
4 years since he's been in affiliated baseball. He's flashing a good fastball, locating it well. He's throwing a breaking ball for strikes. He's got that good floating changeup that seems to never get there. He's impressing me.
2-2. Viza spent a couple of years playing in China, a couple of years playing in Mexico. He took this past winter off. He's pitched in the Dominican Republic in the Winter League as well. A lot of innings over the course of his career. This is on that changeup as it floats away from Harper to run the count full. There's a payoff pitch to Bryce Harper, and he launches one out towards right center field, but this is going to be playable for Eaton. He's got it for out number 1. So 4 up and 4 down on 17 pitches for Viza. Now we'll face Will Smith, who gets the nod behind the plate today. Cal Raleigh drew 3 walks in his start behind the plate yesterday. Caught every pitch. Now Smith coming off his 3rd World Series title back-to-back. And that huge home run in the 11th inning of Game 7 of the World Series. A thrilling contest. And he goes the other way. A line shot towards Trace Thompson at the wall. Leaping, and he made the play. What a catch by Thompson. Trace Thompson lunging out near the wall makes the catch. The former Dodger takes it out of the first row.
Hey, sometimes if you're going to have upsets, you got to have miraculous things happen. And that is one of the best catches you will see. Trace Thompson has a knack, though, for making great catches at big times.
He's got a personal highlight reel of dives and jumps in his parts of 7 major league teams. And look at Viza.
That's what I was looking at. He's like, I can't believe it. He caught it. He was way over that fence.
Oh, yeah.
That fence is about 7 feet high in right field.
He has a little family history of being vertical jumping.
Sure, between his NBA champion father Michael and his NBA champion brother Clay.
And if you watched the broadcast last night, he's another White Sox great.
Oh, great drop. It's an A.J. callback. Gunnar Henderson will take upstairs. It's 2-1 on the Baltimore Oriole. On the ground through the right side, and Gunnar Henderson gets the first United States base runner with a knock. A 2-out single here in the second. So Henderson is aboard for Roman Anthony. What a nice WBC debut against Brazil yesterday. Had a couple of runs scored, couple of RBIs, and a couple of walks. The youngest member of Team USA this time around at 21 years of age. Finished behind Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson of the Athletics last year in the Rookie of the Year vote.
Nobody was catching Nick Kurtz last year. Jacob Wilson thought he had it locked up, and then his teammate came and said, "Hold my baton here, buddy, as I go past you."
Inside, and it's 1-1.
Nick Kurtz had that 6-for-6 game here with 4 homers and 2 doubles, and he was about 4 inches away from having 5 homers in Houston in Dyken Park here.
Ball and a strike. The pitch to Anthony is low, and it's 2-1. Anthony took the spot on this roster when Corbin Carroll went down with a hamate bone fracture. Anthony got the call. It was a pretty easy one for Mark DeRosa, knowing they wanted a younger player and a guy that could step into a big moment. Anthony fits the bill very nicely as Henderson is back in. Stole 30 bags last year for the Orioles. Big cut there from Anthony on a change, and it's 2-2. 6'3" Roman Anthony. I heard baseball players and managers and coaches use the term hitterish when you describe a player. That seems like Roman Anthony fits that bill. He stands in the box and looks like he's ready to hit. A calm presence at just 21 years of age. Waits for a 2-2 pitch. Bounces it on the first baseline foul.
And sometimes guys, just their batting stance. When you look at him from the mound, you go, ooh, this guy, he's got a presence about him, you know, and you can tell that when you watch him in the box. You can tell that when he walks by you. He's a big kid, a big guy, big strong guy, 21 years old, huge potential, huge power.
His teammate last year was Alex Bregman with the Red Sox. Bregman vouched for Anthony as well to Mark DeRosa. Anthony, a little tapper foul. Anthony actually went to the WBC title game between the United States and Japan as a fan last time around in 2023. Now he gets an opportunity on the roster. Vizca trying to get out of this second inning with nothing doing. Henderson at first and a 2-2 pitch to Anthony. Just inside and it's full. Henderson will take off on this payoff pitch coming.
I love that pitch selection right there. A couple of real slow changeups off the corner away. Got him leaning out over, fouled them both off, just barely tipped him. Then he drives that fastball back in, just missed. It was the right selection though.
Henderson goes, Anthony swings, and that gets through for a base hit, sending Henderson to third. He'll get the stop sign from Dino Ebel and a 2-out single. Back-to-back 2-out knocks for Henderson and Anthony, and the United States has something brewing in the second.
Well, as the U.S. gets more info on the Great Britain pitcher, Vizca, you see the at-bats are getting better and better. They're getting to see what he throws. They have great communication. And right there with Henderson running, Anthony rolls it in the right side. An 8-pitch at-bat. U.S. is in business here with Ernie Clement, who had a great postseason for the Toronto Blue Jays last year.
30 hits, a new playoff record in the postseason last year for Clement, for the Toronto Blue Jays. The pitching coach for Great Britain is Barry Enright, former Arizona Diamondback and Los Angeles Angels. So he's out there to settle Vizca down and try to get him out of this inning.
It was Ernie that hit that ball in the left center gap last year that everyone thought was going to end the World Series, right? Wasn't it Ernie? And they just made the Dodgers had just made a defensive change in the outfield, came out of nowhere and made that incredible play.
Kike Hernandez, the left fielder for the Dodgers, thought it was over, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Pajes came out of nowhere and made that play.
Barreling into his teammate to make
I thought
the
it was
catch.
over right there when he hit that ball.
Clement will take a strike.
I asked Will Smith, who was on the Dodgers, if his Dodgers team could beat the USA team. He just laughed.
Clement, a Rochester, New York native, trying to even this game up with a base hit. Towards the left side. Diving stab by Johnson. Play it first in time. And Great Britain keeps the U.S. off the board. Some strong defense to close the inning. Some stronger defense to take a run away. Trace Thompson flying through the air. We've seen that at the big league level before. He does it in the second here.
Back here at Dyken Park with Great Britain manager Brad Marcelino. Brad, Tyler Vizca, 2 scoreless. You've had some great defensive plays behind him. Why was he the right choice to start this game?
The veteran, slow heart rate, can kind of not get caught up in the moment in this environment. It's very easy to do that. So and he's able to execute pitches. So obviously the defense is helping. Trace made a great play. Ivan made a great play. So we felt like that was a good matchup to start with.
Nate Eaton, you told us yesterday he's one of your favorites. What is it about him that makes him so special?
He's a bulldog, man. I mean, he's just absolute gamer. He has that edge to him, that grit that's you love to see in a player. And yeah, he's that old school type of player, which I love that.
You told us before the game that to beat Team USA, you're going to have to be a little bit chaotic. What do you mean by that?
Let guys be who they are. They are a bunch of athletic dudes that are young. They love to play the game hard. They love to fly around the field. So taking off the leash and taking off the motor and let them go at it.
Brad, thanks a lot. Adam, back to you.
Thanks, Kenny.
Ken, thanks so much. That's the British Baseball Hall of Famer, Bradley Marcelino. His first WBC as the manager after he played for Great Britain in years past for qualifiers. Ian Lewis Jr. will fly one foul. Trace Thompson, after that great defensive play in the last half inning, he started this frame going down swinging against Skubal, who has retired 7 straight after the leadoff Nate Eaton homer. And now Ian Lewis quickly down 0-2, the Miami Marlins prospect.
An eerily similar game for USA pitchers starting this game. Yesterday, Logan Webb settled down right away after the leadoff homer.
And now Skubal, still ahead 0-2, is getting a lot of swing and miss. Again, 12 swings and misses so far out of the 29 pitches he has thrown.
And that's a crazy stat, right? This guy gets so many swing and misses. He gets them on his fastball and his changeup mainly. His changeup is actually the pitch he throws the most percent. It is incredibly effective, but you can't sit on it. AJ, as a hitter, you can't go up there and sit on his changeup when he's throwing 97 to 100.
No, he sets it up. Like I said earlier, he sets it up with those fastballs in and then can go to the changeup away. Oh yeah, and by the way, he can throw a cutter in on your hands like that.
That's a developed pitch for him, because I've seen him now. That's 4 or 5 sliders for him today. Those are the best sliders I've actually seen him throw. It's got good shape. It's really hard. Last year he used that up in the zone on accident a lot. Today he's located it really well.
Trying to put away Ian Lewis Jr. with an 0-2, and Lewis is making it tough. Some good defensive swings to fight off some difficult Skubal deliveries. Nicely done. The patriotic thing to do there for Ben Franklin. Lewis, after fouling all 4 straight, Skubal goes back to the nitro for a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, his 3rd consecutive strikeout.
And I just love that sequence right there. He had him reaching way out over the plate, down and away. He comes back up with the fastball up and in, saying, all right, you're not going to be able to foul this one off. Perfectly executed fastball right there.
Back to the top, and Eaton, who jumped on Skubal with that first pitch home run, originally ruled a double and then overturned properly to a long ball for Eaton. This one on the ground is short. Coming in is Henderson. The tough throw on the run, skips past Harper, and that will get away. Eaton reaches safely with 2 outs, and he'll get second base on the throwing error.
Tough play here by Gunnar Henderson. He charges, he does everything right, just gets his feet a little bit crisscrossed, yanks it. Harper tries to pick it, and it just bounces over the railing, allows Eaton to go to second. But this is where it gets interesting for Mark DeRosa, right? You see Skubal at 35 pitches. He needs to get to 50-ish. Do you send him out there if he gets Jazz Chisholm out here for another inning, or do you say we'll bring in somebody else who I think Clay Holmes is out there warming up, and you go out and finish your outing in the bullpen?
I think you finish him. I mean, and the Tigers want to see him throw 50 competitive pitches on the field probably also.
Chisholm fouls one away. It's 1-1.
I think you go out there. You got a couple guys in the bullpen that are here to help clean up those innings. That's something that DeRosa talked about that he did not have in 2023. He has a couple guys here that are okay going out there in the middle of an inning.
Can use Clay Holmes, former closer turned starter. Chisholm, former Miami Marlin and now New York Yankee, fouls one up the line at first. It was an infield single for Eaton and the error on Henderson, pushing him into scoring position. Skubal trying to leave a man stranded in scoring position here. With a 1-2 pitch. Tried to paint it with the slider, but none doing from the home plate umpire Alex Tosi, the Canadian. David Arrieta from Venezuela is at first. Scott Berry, the American, is the crew chief at second. And Roberto Nunez from Puerto Rico is at third.
To your point, though, AJ, sometimes it's 3 innings or 50 pitches. So it may not just be 50 pitches. It could be 3 or 50.
Now he's sitting at 40 on that toss.
Well, this will be his last inning now. If he would have got Jazz Chisholm on the first pitch, it would have been a little bit more of a discussion, but this will be it for him. Whatever happens here, they're going to want him to finish this inning, relax, maybe go down and throw a couple in the bullpen. I'm not sure, though, because this is a different adrenaline than what you get. No offense to Lakeland and spring training.
Payoff pitch to Chisholm, and he goes chasing after that fastball out of the zone. After the leadoff home run by Eaton, 9 of the final 10 retired by Skubal. 2.5 through a 1-0 British lead.
Welcome back to Dyken Park. U.S. trailing 1-0. We're here with U.S. manager Mark DeRosa. Mark, Tarik Skubal, after that leadoff home run, seemed to put his foot down. What did you see?
I mean, unbelievable stuff, bottom line. 98 miles an hour, devastating changeup, slider. But that'll be it for him. We're going to bring in Clay Holmes now.
What is the plan the rest of the way beyond Holmes?
Yeah, I'd like to get 3 out of Clay. We'll see where that goes. And then there's about 5 guys in the bullpen that could use some work.
Everyone knows you have a big talent edge here. You're trailing in this game. How nerve-wracking is it for you just to be in this position?
I don't say it's nerve-wracking. I love our ABs. I mean, Trace Thompson made a heck of a play right there. I mean, we're hitting the ball hard. So I expect us to score some runs.
Mark, thanks a lot. Adam, back to you.
Ken Pete Crow Armstrong grounds out to Murray at first to start off this home half of the 3rd inning. So 1 time through the order for Tyler Viza, just 2 hits and 2 men left on base. And as Mark DeRosa just talked about, look at the exit velos. 92, 101, 99, 98, 108, 98 throughout the first time through the order. So there have been a handful of balls hit relatively hard, but credit to the British defense. They've made 3 individual excellent plays so far. A couple over at third by Johnson, and then obviously the Trace Thompson home run robbery of Will Smith.
You know what those exit velocities mean right now to the British? Nothing. They're winning. They're winning 1-0. That's all they care about.
I thought you were going to try to translate them into kilometers in real time. That's what I thought you were about to do. But
there was a sign that said, "What is a kilometer?" earlier, and I kind of agree. What is a kilometer?
You made a salient point, though. That is, they are happy to be up at this point, 1-0. Ball and a strike on Kyle Schwarber, who bounces one to the right side again, and B.J. Murray's there. Viza covers the bag, and it's 2 up and 2 down here in the 3rd.
The thing I'm noticing about Viza, yesterday we saw the Brazilians were just, I won't say scared, but they were not attacking the strike zone whatsoever. He's throwing strikes. He's got no walks. He's only had 1 3-ball count. He's making his defense work. He's keeping them on their toes. That's good, effective pitching.
So Skubal done. You saw his line, 5 strikeouts after the home run. Clay Holmes was loosening up. And Alex Bregman climbs in against Viza and takes a strike.
You mentioned how nervous and how Mark DeRosa's hands were shaking last time, Waino. As this game goes, he can say, I'm not nervous, we're going to score some runs. But every out that they're behind, and you have to get a little bit nervous. I'm sorry, it's human nature. Anxious, maybe. Not nervous, but anxious. When are we going to score? When are we going to score? Come on, guys, we got to score.
I think the amount of talent has a lot to do with that. The expectations are sky high for this 2026 iteration of the United States at the WBC after their run 3 years ago. Bregman fouls it. It's 1-2 and a chance for a 1-2-3 Visa inning here in the third. Gave you all the accolades, all the All-Stars and MVPs and Cy Youngs that this team has. They came in as one of the odds-on favorites to win this tournament. As Ford will go out to talk with Visa. Championship caliber roster. A lot of these guys wanted to be a part of this group. They reached out on their own, several of them, to Mark DeRosa to want to be a part of this team. This does have a, as we discussed yesterday, a 1992 men's basketball dream team feel to it because of the amount of talent that either volunteered or was recruited at the top levels of the game to play for the U.S. First time for Bryce Harper playing at this stage. Bregman, meanwhile, was the youngest player on the lone WBC gold medal team in 2017. Of course, it was canceled in 2020 and then back at it 3 years ago. 2-2 pitch to Bregman is lifted to right. Thompson is there, backing towards the track. And an easier play that time in a 9-pitch, 1-2-3 inning worked by Visa. And a great start in the early innings for Great Britain. A 1-0 lead over the U.S. Well, one of the great things about the WBC is the joy that these teams play with, the pride that they play with for their countries, the energy that comes from so many of these fan bases that travel not just around this country but around the world to go see and cheer on their countries and their favorite players and their native players. Japan is off to a hot start with a couple of victories over Chinese Taipei and Korea as well. Otani, a big game in the first outing. Seiya Suzuki, a 2-homer game. Dante Nori, 3 for 3 with a couple of homers in Pool B for Italy and a shutout of Brazil. And how about some history? In all of these tournaments, there had never been a walk-off home run until Ozzie Albies did it for the Netherlands earlier today to defeat Nicaragua 4-3. Clay Holmes makes his way out. Saw a lot of Albies in the NL East last year with the New York Mets after he transitioned from a closer to a starter. Closer early in his career with a couple of different teams, including the Yankees, and turned into a very strong starter last season. He'll deal to Harry Ford, and Sir Harry takes a strike.
One of the coolest stats I've ever seen. 24 saves, backed up by 30 saves, backed by 31 starts.
He gets Harry Ford to bounce one slowly to third to Bregman, and he'll throw out Ford for the first out. Holmes, a hefty right-hander at 6'5", 245 pounds, playing in his first World Baseball Classic. The Alabama native going into his 9th major league season.
And this is his pitch, Wayno, sinker.
Yeah.
This is what he wants him to do. He wants him to beat the ball into the ground. He throws one of the heaviest sinkers in all of baseball.
The 6th highest ground ball rate in the big leagues last year. There's B.J. Murray, who's played a nice first base so far. He takes a strike. Quickly, 0-2. Nice changeup there from Holmes.
That was a new pitch he learned last year going into the season. That really changed his game. When he first came up in Pittsburgh, it was all about trying to find the strike zone. And then when he goes over to New York, it was all about locating that sinker. He did. And then when he added that changeup, that really changed his game. He was able to make those starts more effective.
Two-time All-Star now at the big league level. Used that changeup effectively. Opponents only hit 200 off of that change last year. And essentially the first time he'd been utilizing that pitch, obviously expanding the repertoire to throw the amount of innings he pitched last year. 165 innings last year for a former closer, who throws another diving changeup to get a swing and miss, and he strikes out Murray.
You mentioned a changeup, and one of the things Mark DeRosa talked to us about as we see Andy Pettit, the pitching coach for USA, is the catchers have a hard time because these guys still have to get their work in, but they want to get outs. And if they have a pitch working, like Michael Wacha had a nasty changeup last night, and Cal Raleigh said, I just wanted to call all changeups, but Wacha at some point has to throw fastballs to get ready for the season. It's an interesting dynamic on how much are you getting in work and how much are you trying to literally win the game.
Robinson checks his swing. That's part of the balancing act for Mark DeRosa. Wayno, you went through that a few years ago as well as part of Team USA.
Yeah, it is. AJ said it best, man. You have to go out here and get some things done that you need working on to get ready for the season. Oof. But you can't help, once you've got that USA on your chest, you can't help but to try to win the game. So as this tournament goes further and further, you're going to see guys throw more of their out stuff. But they'll also become more effective each start. But they have probably 3 more starts in spring training. So they have some time, but right now they're working. You know, they want to win, but they absolutely have to work on stuff.
1-2 pitch to Robinson. Sails outside. 2-2 the count. And the intensity of each game always seems to climb. 4 games in pool play. U.S. expected to get into the knockout rounds, and as soon as you get into single elimination, boy, the stakes feel so high. Good sinker that time. That's a beloved pitch for Holmes. A 1-2-3 inning out of the bullpen, and we'll see Aaron Judge, the captain, lead it off for the U.S. in the bottom of the 4th. Play the Fox Super 6 WBC Classic Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win your share of $20,000 in total cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for details. So how about this? You're 24 years old. You spent the first 7 years of your life living in Philadelphia before your family moves to the Virgin Islands. You get into baseball while you're living there. You use tennis balls instead of baseballs because that's all you can find to play with your friends. You work your way up. You continue to love the game. You end up being a Los Angeles Angels prospect going into what will be your 3rd year in the organization. You get to represent Great Britain on this international stage, and you get to face Aaron Judge the first time out. That is the story for Najer Victor, who will face Judge to start off this frame. Judge grounded out against Tyler Viza. And a fastball blown in there at 97 from Victor to start off Judge and get ahead. A strong 3 innings from Viza to set the tone for the British. Ball and a strike on Judge.
What if there was some talk, AJ, about leaving him in?
No. Brad Marcelino, their manager, he told us before the game, 3 innings, we're getting him out. He was very effective, but this was 2nd time through.
Judge takes outside, 2-1.
One of us asked, what are you thinking out of Viza? He said, if I get 3 innings, that would be best case scenario.
The 2-1 pitch to Judge is fouled towards the British dugout.
I hear that, but every day is different. Zeros are happening.
You know the games are all scripted now, Wayno.
I think that's okay to an extent.
2-2 pitch. Judge checks his swing, and he went around, according to the first base umpire David Arrieta. And Najer Victor gets the strikeout on Judge. Wow, nasty pitch. Victor gets the K. Tarek Skubal finished off his outing for the U.S. after 3 frames. He's in the dugout with Ken Rosenthal.
Tarek, you've pitched in the playoffs. How did pitching for your country compare?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great atmosphere. The legs were a little light there early in the game, and that means you're in a really cool environment. And, you know, this is one of those games where you put it across. There's just different emotions that run through you that don't really run through you when you're playing in the big leagues.
The first pitch homer, what changed after that?
I mean, it's a first pitch fastball. He settled out and he got it. I mean, we wouldn't be talking about it if he missed it. Just getting to my mix, getting to my pitches, and obviously the results were the results after that.
You mentioned this environment. This team is very close. How difficult will it be for you to leave?
Very, very. I haven't really quite processed that yet. I'm going to try and stick around as much as I can, and just learn from these guys. I think the amount of baseball knowledge and, not only from the pitchers, but just watching the guys in the dugout prepare each day is pretty special to watch.
Is there any chance you pitch again?
That's a tough question right now. Yeah, I probably won't answer that one right now.
Tarek, thanks a lot. Congratulations. Adam, back to you.
It's understandable. Logan Webb went through a similar circumstance a few years ago, and Tarek Skubal facing impending free agency, getting ready for what is a crucial season as a professional. There's a 2-1 to Harper.
That wasn't a no.
That wasn't a no.
That wasn't a no. Here, the U.S. has to advance, get to a point, but that wasn't a no. It lines up if you look at the days.
Harper goes down swinging, and Victor with back-to-back strikeouts of a pair of MVPs. First he gets Judge, now he gets Harper, and there are 2 away in the 4th.
Just straight gas by Bryce Harper right here. A little elevated heat. But I'm going to go back to the Tarek Skubal.
Yeah, thank you.
If you line it up, 5 days from now would be the 12th. 5 days from then would be the 17th, which is the day of
the championship
WBC finals.
There's Will Smith.
Once you hear that USA chant and you get in there to that little fraternity over there, that's a dugout, the way D-Rose running it especially, this is something that I was kind of hoping he'd feel it and go, yeah, I want the ball, man. Give me the ball. Call back, Tarek.
2-0 on Smith. Ken, you were just down there talking to him.
If he could line it up right, he could pitch in Lakeland for the Tigers on the 5th day and then come back and pitch in the final on the 5th day. The problem with that is he'd then be 9 days away from opening day, and he wouldn't be able to pitch on opening day for the Tigers. It's very, very unlikely he pitches again for Team USA. Just does not line up.
It's an unfortunate circumstance if that ends up being the case, and that is a very tight clubhouse. You guys have been around all of these players. We've been around them for the last few days. It's an incredible group, high talent group, obviously, as Smith draws the 4-pitch walk.
I know we're just spitballing here, right? We're just spitballing.
We're just spitballing. Throwing darts.
But here's the thing. He absolutely could start on opening day on 8 or 9 days rest, whatever that was. He would throw a little live BP in between. A lot of times your last start in spring training is a controlled environment. It's a controlled pitch count. Sometimes you've already got up to where you need to. And so they just go, you throw 45, 50 pitches, they pull you back, right? Sometimes that's the way it is. Not always, sometimes. That's, especially in recent years, that's what they've done more often. Go to the backfield, throw 45 or 50, we'll pull you off 12 pitches an inning or whatever it is. We want you to get very controlled, work on the things you want to throw, get the heck out of there. I'm just saying. It could happen.
Just throwing
it's
darts
not
at the
out
board.
of the realm of possibilities. I know Mr. Boris and the Tigers may disagree.
Henderson takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Should we call A.J. Hinch and ask him how he feels, and Scott Harris of the Tigers and the Ilitch family, and say, hey, what do you think, USA or the Detroit Tigers?
Yeah. Well, I know he's glad to be here. He's fired up to pitch for Team USA. I know that.
He had a great 3 innings as Henderson fouls one towards the dugout. He had a great run after that first pitch home run that Nate Eaton hit. That's the lone blemish in this game against Skubal, as he allowed just 1 base runner the rest of the way in the next 10 batters he faced. A ball and 2 strikes on Gunnar Henderson. Victor looking to strike out the side. He got Judge, he got Harper, and Henderson fights it off. That fastball at 97 has shown positive dividends for Victor so far.
This can only help Victor in his young career. The Angels are watching this saying, he just punched out 2 MVPs. Maybe this guy's a higher prospect than we thought.
Along with Lucas Ramirez, who had a couple of home runs for Brazil yesterday. Some intriguing prospects in the Angels system right now. A 1-2 pitch again to Henderson is fouled. Ford could not hold on to it, and Henderson gets new life.
How do you not catch that, Harry Ford? It's the funniest thing is when that happens, everyone says, you got to hang on to it. It's pure luck. It's 100% pure luck on foul tips.
Glove in the right place at the exact right split second. Henderson has fought off a few here. Another 1-2 pitch coming. And the Orioles shortstop takes high and away. Two-two pitch. And it was just inside. Ford tried to present it on the corner. None doing. It'll be full on Henderson. Will Smith will take off from first base on this payoff delivery.
You challenge him again. Done him 2 fastballs in a row. You got some bad swings on the sliders. You go slider here?
I think he goes back to that slider down and after those fastballs up.
Three-two pitch. Smith goes, and Henderson goes down swinging on the slider. A.J. Victor, the 24-year-old Angels prospect, strikes out Judge. He strikes out Harper. And he strikes out Henderson. What a run in the 4th. To the 5th we go. Welcome back to the 2026 World Baseball Classic on Fox, presented by Capital One. Nate Eaton took the first pitch of the game that Tarek Skubal threw deep for a 1-0 lead. The British have played excellent defense behind their 2 pitchers, Tyler Viza and A.J. Victor, who didn't really need a whole lot of defense in that 4th inning, striking out Judge, Harper, and Henderson. And now Clay Holmes, after a 1-2-3 4th in his first inning of work, backing Skubal up, goes to work against 6, 7, and 8 in the British order. Yvonne Johnson, the Cincinnati Reds' 4th-round pick 7 years ago, grounded out his first time up against Skubal. Now faces the righty Holmes and fouls it away.
I guarantee you they went back between innings and said you got to see the ball up off of Clay Holmes. If it starts down, it's going to end down, and you are not getting under that sinker or changeup down.
Here's an 0-2. Johnson was at AAA Louisville in the Cincinnati organization last year. One-two pitch, and he goes down swinging. The tag applied by Smith. That's already 3 strikeouts in a row now for Clay Holmes. From the World Baseball Classic to all the spring training games, you've got you covered. You can get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. So Holmes has found a nice rhythm right out of the gate. And now he faces Justin Wiley, who struck out against Skubal his first time. Wiley, a 29-year-old from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Minor league baseball journeyman whose mother Cheryl is from Trinidad and Tobago, so as part of the Commonwealth, has British ancestry. Check swing, he went around, and it's 1-2 on Wiley.
Clay Holmes looks sharp.
Yep.
He looks mid-season form. I'm going to ask this again. When does he start getting nervous? He said he's not nervous yet. When we're into the 5th here. When do we start getting nervous?
He's standing up now.
Waved on and missed. Boy, that'll calm you down if you're a manager. Mark DeRosa throwing Clay Holmes out there to back up Skubal, and he has been very sharp. 5 up, 5 down, 4 straight strikeouts.
And that pitch right there in particular is so important for him, because as a right-handed hitter or left-handed hitter, everything that Clay Holmes you think he's going to throw is going to move towards third base. But if he can throw something effective like the sweeper that goes away from the righty into the lefty, throws you off your game completely. That's a great pitch for him.
Trace Thompson, who's got the defensive highlight of the game so far, watches that slider clip the corner. That sweeper gets the call, and it's quickly 0-2 on Thompson, who's got a WBC home run in his career 3 years ago. The man next to me just shifted uncomfortably in his chair because it was Adam Wainwright who gave up the homer and then locked in, much like Skubal and Holmes have done so far today. I always got you. We're halfway through. Oh, Adam Wainwright, you've been at this stage before. A couple of strong starts. We mentioned somewhat in jest that homer that Trace Thompson hit off of you, but it's been a trend that you've seen. You locked it in very nicely after settling into it, as we are halfway through this Pool B ball game between the U.S. and Great Britain. 1-0 the British with the lead. Adam, and A.J. Ken is down on the field. Give me a sense of what this meant to you to be a part of this.
Yeah, it meant a lot. In both of my starts, I ended up giving up a run in my first inning, but locked in afterwards. But I'm going to tell you something right now. As commentators, we're supposed to be unbiased.
Oh my God, what is happening?
No, sorry, Bobtail, baby. Bring it on. Let's go, USA. Come on, baby. Get some runs.
Oh my gosh. If you're looking for jingoism, you get it right at the start of the bottom of the 5th inning. Najir Victor, 3 strikeouts in his first inning relief. And now goes back to work in the 5th against Roman Anthony.
You know,
there's a strike. It's 1-1.
It seemed like the appropriate thing.
Was that your rallying cry right there?
Let's go.
Was that your Boston Tea Party appropriately with Roman Anthony,
the
Boston Red Sox at the plate right now? That was Adam Wainwright's version of throwing the tee over the side of the ship. Ball and a strike on Anthony, who's got a single. Already 3 hits in the first 2 games of this first WBC for him. He goes waving at that cutter, and it's 1-2. Clement and Crow Armstrong to follow. Anthony will take one down low that skips through forward.
The biggest thing right now for the Brits is they only have 1 walk. They haven't given the U.S. any free base runners. They've attacked them. They've thrown it over the plate. They're making the U.S. try to beat them, and so far they haven't been able to do it.
Eaton's home run, the lone run of the game so far. A 2-2 pitch to Anthony, and he goes down on a slider. Najir Victor is feeling it. 4 strikeouts in 5 batters faced. The only man to reach was Smith on the lone walk for the U.S.
And it's just a tight little slider, isn't it? Just doesn't have a whole lot of depth to it. It's just really late. It's short. Looks like a hitter coming out and just dives under barrels.
There's Clement. He checks his swing on that slider, so the U.S. hitter's a little off balance on that pitch that you're talking about right now.
But again, they haven't seen these guys.
Sure.
These are not guys that they've ever seen before.
Yep.
They've probably watched a little videotape on Victor. They probably have a scouting report, but they've never stepped into the box against him.
It's not like going into a spring training game against a team that you're going to see a few times during the year, and a pitcher that you saw for 7 at-bats last year and that has 100 innings of work at the big league level. And this is a guy in his 3rd year in the minor leagues who's got real stuff and has shown it off so far. Ahead of Clement 0-2, who makes contact. A roller to third, and Johnson. An off-target throw, and getting there safely is Clement. Is that a spark that the United States needs just to get a base runner aboard against this Great Britain pitching staff?
Well, he got his feet kind of a little bit messed up. He didn't plan them the best. And then the high throw. And One thing about Clement, he always is going 100%, and he beats it. U.S. has a base runner.
And we saw him in the first inning go head first slide.
That's right, yeah.
Blue Jays probably called over and said, hey, cut that out.
Sure, John Schneider was watching that in Clement's first at bat and going, oh boy. So E5 on the third baseman Johnson, and Bradley Marcelino is going to come out. What a performance by young Najir Victor. The Angels have to be excited, but the U.S. has the tying run on base. World Baseball Classic continues Monday for the United States as they'll take on Mexico at 8 o'clock Eastern Time right here on Fox. Andre Scrub, the former Houston Astro, is in the game to face Pete Crow Armstrong. The United States, on an error by the third baseman Johnson, gets a man aboard. The tying run on first is Clement. And those are the 38 appearances over 2 seasons that Scrub pitched for the Astros, pitching in his second World Baseball Classic. A big man at 6'4", 270. Crow Armstrong hugs the line down the first base side, and it's a fair ball into the corner. Clement gets the stop sign at third. It's a double for PCA, and the United States looking to rally here in the bottom of the 5th.
Did you see how fast he got to second, A.J.? This guy can absolutely motor.
Right over the base. As you said earlier, Adam, was the error the thing that will get the U.S. going? You cannot give this team extra outs, cannot give them extra base runners.
And suddenly 2 in scoring position. And the top of the U.S. order with Kyle Schwarber, who has a home run in his WBC career against the British. Big cut on that cutter upstairs. Infield is in.
I would not do that. If I'm the British, I would not bring the infield in. I'd keep them back, because now a hit scores 2.
Yeah.
Keep them back, take the out, you get 2 outs. Maybe you get out of this 1-1, but by bringing them in, it just opens up so many more holes.
That one rolls away from Ford. Coming in from third, Clement to tie the game. The error representing a tiny, tiny window for the U.S. here in the 5th, and they take advantage. Crow Armstrong to third, and now a base hit gives the U.S. the lead. Schwarber takes high, 2-1.
Just a tough pitch. I mean, listen, Harry Ford does everything he can just to let that not go to the backstop. But the speed of Clement, he's going to score on that ball.
Schwarber launches it to right. He's done it against the Brits again. The United States takes the lead on a blast to the upper deck. Bregman faces his former Astros teammate as Schwarber punches one to a spot where how many of those bombs have we seen from Schwarber over the years going to the upper deck at a ballpark in right field?
Of all the great stars on the USA roster, maybe the guy they wanted up in that spot more than anybody was Kyle Schwarber. And he hit an absolute tank missile bomb way up into the upper deck.
Bregman lines one towards the left field corner. That will get down fair. He loved hitting at this ballpark as an Astro. His double gets him in a scoring position, and the U.S. keeps it moving. Again, we thought that error might just be enough to get some life into the United States. 3 straight extra base hits, and now Judge to the plate.
Yeah, but it happened in 6 pitches. They were up 1-0. Scrub comes in. 6 pitches later, they're down 3-1, and now add a couple more pitches with a runner on second.
Just making sure real quick, you're giving this credit to the error and not the jacket.
There can be a combination of things. Many things I think can be true.
Just point out.
Many things can possibly be true. So Marcelino will come out to try to settle things down after Anthony struck out against Najer Victor, who struck out 4 of the 5 United States batters he faced. The error by Johnson at third, allowing Ernie Clement to reach. A high throw allowed him to get on base. Scrub came in. Crow Armstrong cracked a double. A wild pitch to score one. And then Schwarber's bomb. Another one in his United States career. The 3rd he's hit in a USA uniform at the WBC. And the U.S. is on top. It took just 8 pitches for the U.S. to wake up. 3 straight extra base hits to take the lead. Bregman at second. Aaron Judge takes a breaking ball off of the delivery of Donovan Benoit out to right. Caught by Thompson. Bregman stays at the bag at second, and there are 2 away as Benoit comes in to settle things down for the British. Got to bring up Bryce Harper against Benoit. He's pitching in his second WBC. Pitched out of the bullpen a couple of times 3 years ago against Canada and Mexico. Originally a Cincinnati Reds draft pick. First pitch swinging, Harper fouls it up the line at first. Kyle Schwarber got this crowd up. The United States fans got the dugout lit up. Did it all with a very calming veteran presence. Inside on Harper, and that clipped him. Gonna look at Benoit as well, as Harper will take first base.
Just a yank slider off the shin. He's got a shin guard on. He just doesn't like it.
Still hurts, right, through that shin guard?
It still hurts. And listen, nobody was throwing at anybody. Nobody also wants to get hit by a baseball. He doesn't want to get eaten. He's a hot
dog. In an inning that has felt a little bit more intense than the other ones. A very nice moment of levity right there. Between AJ's hot dog puns and Adam Wainwright stripping down to a United States jacket on national television, this has been an entertaining 5th inning to say the least. Here's Will Smith. Walked and lined out. Which is line out all the way back in the 2nd inning. A robbery of a home run by Trace Thompson at the wall in right. He's got Bregman at second, Harper at first, 2 down. The U.S. has scored 3 times. An error and 3 extra base hits so far in the frame. A 1-0 to Smith. And Benoit rips a sinker low.
As these pool play games go on and they get deeper and deeper, it's like a Division I top 10 football team playing against a mid-major football team. The depth eventually just wears them down. They don't have the relievers. Yeah, they might get a great start, right? The mid-major might go down at Waino and score a touchdown. But by the end of the game, over the length of the game, the depth just wears them down. And that's what you see in these first two United States games.
And a 4-pitch walk to Smith to load him up for Gunnar Henderson. That's kind of the thought process of putting this roster together. Depth always seemingly helps and wins out. I thought Mark DeRosa made a great point earlier today as Barry Enright, the pitching coach, will come out. He said oftentimes Major League Baseball playoffs and tournaments like this come down to your bullpen. Another form of depth, right? If you can take advantage of another team's bullpen, which may not have the depth, and if you yourself have enough arms in the back end to be able to get you through pool play and through what are very likely to be incredibly intense knockout stage games, then you'll have a great shot at the end to be hoisting the goal.
And there's only a few teams that have that depth, especially with back-to-back games on back-to-back days, because there are restrictions on pitchers. Some guys can't throw back-to-back games, so you got to have extra guys. How many pitchers do you throw in one game, so you have to save some for the next game? Do you punt one game to hope you can win the next day?
Against Mexico yesterday, it took 7 British pitchers to get through the game. Brazil needed 8. Meanwhile, the U.S. just used 3 relievers behind Logan Webb to beat Brazil. Bases loaded for Gunnar Henderson. And he takes a fastball outside. Bregman at third. He doubled after the Schwarber home run. Harper was hit by a pitch. Smith walked. The 1-0. 2-0.
I mean, you got to be ultra patient here, A.J. He's got to come over the plate, I think. I know it's 2-0, but that's 5 or 6 balls in a row right here.
Don't care.
I know you don't care, but I'm telling that's the play.
Get the tape. Get the tape.
There's a strike. Lowe's pitch goes Benoit's way. 2-1.
But see, not a pitch he wants to go for.
No.
But Gunnar Henderson knows the strike zone well enough. Let him eat. This isn't the guy hitting in front of Adam Wainwright. This is Gunnar Henderson.
Well, that's what I mean. He doesn't have the protection behind him.
Nice stop by Ford behind the plate. Bregman back to the bag.
It's 6 or 7 big misses. It's not like he's just nicking the corners like he did on the one strike. These are big misses.
Hitters count for Henderson. Bases loaded. The 3-1. Checks his swing. It's a strike anyway on the outside corner. Well placed fastball by Benoit. Henderson did not agree.
Great pitch. His fastball's got a lot of run. 96, 97. So you're ready to swing right here.
Oh, 100%. I want to put 4 on the board, not 1.
I hear you.
Payoff pitch to Henderson is lashed foul.
But these guys in the U.S. lineup know the strike zone so well. Do you think Mark DeRosa is going to say, hey, take one for me here, Gunnar? No.
He trusts his guys for sure. I would have just trusted him to take a 2-0 pitch.
That's why you're not managing. That's why you're sitting next to me.
Another 3-2 and another foul down the line and left.
That's what makes his U.S. team so good. That swing right there. That's 98. Yeah. That's Benoit's best pitch. He just flicks it foul. Okay, I'll live to fight another pitch.
If he has the ability to throw a comeback sinker at his hip right here, that would be deadly.
Another payoff pitch to Henderson is hit into right center field. Bregman will score. Harper's right behind him. Henderson's looking for 2. He drives in 2. And the U.S. has a 5-1 lead.
Great at bat by Gunnar Henderson. Just an unbelievable at bat. Finally got him to make a mistake, and he drills it into right center for 2 RBIs. I'm sure happy he didn't take.
And spoiled those, like you said. He took the ones he should have. He spoiled those ones that were super tough, though, like you said. That was a great at bat.
Roman Anthony started this inning off with a strikeout against Najer Victor, who had a great outing. And then the next batter was Clement, who reached on an error. Victor was taken out. The former Astro scrub came in, and the U.S. started the rally to score 5 in the frame and looking for more. Anthony takes outside.
Your jacket is like when you get a drink, a smoothie, and they put that little shot of ginger in there, and it just wakes you up. Your jacket was that shot of ginger.
Thank you.
Never heard a piece of clothing described as such before.
I will consider that jacket's name Ginger from now on.
I can't wait to do a game with you in a couple of weeks on opening weekend. Wayno, did you bring Ginger out for this one?
Is that Ginger?
Anthony takes a sinker low, and it's 3-0.
Green light him.
He'll take all the way a strike.
You're swinging out of your shoes right there.
No, maybe not there.
Well,
this one though. This one, no.
Up 5-1 though. I like that better, being more aggressive. But if you're going to throw no doubt balls out of the hand, I like him earning it.
Chopper up the middle. Grab behind the bag by Lewis. He'll throw out Anthony. The United States bats around. Clement reached. Crow Armstrong doubled. Schwarber banged a 2-run shot. Bregman doubled. Harper was hit. Smith walked, and then Henderson drove in 2 more. A 5-1 United States lead. MLB Together is baseball's platform embodying the sport's commitment to philanthropic causes and mental wellness efforts by teams, players, and the league. To learn more, you can scan the QR code or visit MLBtogether.com. There's Clayton Kershaw. Outstanding career coming to a close, but he is still available to use out of the bullpen for the United States. He'll start his television career coming up this season. Congrats on a phenomenal Hall of Fame career to Clayton Kershaw. And now part of our little group covering the game. Gunnar Henderson capped off a 5-run inning with a 2-run double. And United States lead of 5-1 as we hit the 6th inning. Almost a half hour between Clay Holmes' pitches. He'll happily sit down after the U.S. offense got going. He'll face, or is facing, Lewis in the 9th spot, followed by Eaton and Chisholm. Crowd of 34,000 plus here tonight in Houston. And a 2-1 count on Lewis. 30,000 on a Friday night last night. Add a few thousand more here tonight for the U.S. and Great Britain. That's through Holmes. Henderson's there, and he swings it to first for the out. And Clay Holmes has been dialed in since entering this game behind Skubal in the 4th. This was the big blast, or that started, I should say, the Clement run that got the U.S. going after he reached on an error. And their first strike on Lewis. Or on Eaton, beg your pardon. We thought maybe that would be the little spark. Just Clement reaching on that error by Johnson, and certainly ended up being the catalyst for the U.S. to get going. Just 2 of those 5 runs were earned against British pitching.
That sinker is just filthy. On these right-handed hitters, he just throws that ball, starts it in the middle of the plate, and it just eats up their hands.
That's what you want to have when you're uni right there at the end of the game, isn't it?
Not me. I want to
Just
slide.
Clay all over it.
Yeah, for a guy like Ernie Clement, yes. For a slow guy like me, Wayno, no.
I always felt like, as a pitcher, too, if I could get some kind of slide in, felt like I played a complete game of baseball, you know? That's what it felt like.
That usually meant you were backing up bases, though.
No, heck no.
2-2 to Eaton, and he fights one off on that sinker.
The people at home just have to know that I got the dirtiest look from A.J. That's why I followed that up with. That's how I felt like. He's throwing the sinkers in. He's throwing the 2 sweepers away that he couldn't get there. Be surprised if he comes back here 2-2 with that nasty changeup under the zone.
Trying to put away Eaton with it. Instead, he muscles one the other way on that sinker and punches it out to right field. A 3-for-3 day for Great Britain's leadoff man after an 0-for-5 day out of the 2 spot yesterday.
Well, that's impressive hitting right there to stay inside the ball, go down, get underneath a good, well-located sinker from Clay Holmes, one of the best in the game. Very impressive.
That'll bring up Jazz Chisholm Jr. He has struck out twice down to the field in Ken Rosenthal.
Adam, this probably won't surprise you, but Jazz Chisholm Jr. has been engaging in some good-natured trash talk with his Yankee teammates who are members of Team USA, Aaron Judge, Paul Goldschmidt, David Bednar. Judge is one of the guys who, of course, Jazz likes to tease and get along with. He said that they've been giving me the hardest time, saying you're only there until March 12th. You're going to be gone. For half the game, Jazz was looking good. I'm not so sure now.
He'll be going into his second full season with the Yankees after he was traded in July of 2024. Jazz flips one foul and out of play. 1-2 the count.
I saw him working in batting practice today, trying to hit those Crawford boxes as much as he could. That's probably the danger here, throwing that sinker away to Jazz, is him being able to drive that ball to left field.
Yeah, but you got to get it in the air.
Something that's very difficult to do against Clay Holmes. And now he uses the sweeper to punch out Jazz Chisholm. That is already 6 strikeouts for Holmes.
Boy, that's nasty. Whew. That's super nasty, especially after that sinker that's just shooting away from him to come back to have some driving in on him like that. It's really tough to cover the X like that as a hitter, isn't it, AJ?
It is, and you're expecting the ball to go out towards your barrel as a left-handed hitter, and it starts where you think, oh, that's the one I'm going to get, and it just disappears behind you. That's when you get the bad swing as a lefty.
Now it's Harry Ford who's 0-for-2. Runner takes off from first. Throw down to second base by Smith. And not there. Clement tried to punch in the tag on Nate Eaton. A throw just to the right of the second base bag to try to get the tag down in stride and cut Eaton off. And Mark DeRosa wants to challenge this.
Why not?
United States is challenging and calling the field of safe.
Might have got him on that foot right before he tags the base. Oh, right in the calf.
Catchers are taught to throw the ball kind of up the first base line a little bit, because if the infielder catches it like he does there, he's out, and it shortens the throw.
Especially after a runner gets a pretty good jump like Eaton did. You're trying to cut off as much time as possible. And that looked like a pretty strong throw and a nice little pick on a small hop by Clement.
Great pick by Eaton right there. How hard is that? I know neither of us played that position, but how hard is that to make that pick and continue the catch instead of bringing that ball up right there?
Well, what I love is he just stuck his nose in there and said, this ball, I'm catching this ball no matter what. I'm not coming up with it. I'm just going to stick my nose in there and catch it. And he did. And he caught it right on Eaton's calf. He should be out. Now we'll have to see. DeRosa thinks he's out.
Well, Smith has thrown out about a quarter of the runners that have tried to steal a base against him at the major league level over what has been a now 8-year career.
You just have to be super relaxed with that catching hand right here and allow that to just drive into the runner, right, instead of picking it up.
But see how he lets it travel?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He lets it travel into his glove instead of going out and getting it. He just lets it travel into his glove, and that leads him to the tag right on the body.
You're taught to not, I think this is what you guys are talking about, fight the urge to move your glove closer to it, because the ball traveling with the throw that Smith made and that a lot of catchers make with their great arms is going to get you to the point it needs to be faster than you cutting it off, catching it in front of the bag, and pulling it back.
After review, the call is overturned. The runner is out.
Successful challenge, successful throw, successful tag. Smith to Clement to finish off a shutdown 6th inning. And the U.S. takes a 4-run lead to the bottom of the 6th against the Brits. Who will rise up in the world's most famous arena and take the conference crown? The Big East Tournament live from MSG, March the 12th through the 14th on Fox and FS1. All part of a great week between the World Baseball Classic and college basketball conference tournaments getting going. Deeper into the bullpen goes Great Britain. They'll bring in Chavez Fernander, a 28-year-old who was born in the Bahamas, pitching in his 2nd World Baseball Classic. He's pitched in the Mexican League the last couple of years. Originally a Detroit Tigers pick all the way back in 2018. Spent a half-decade in the Tigers minor league system. Slider, sinker, cutter combination with an occasional changeup thrown in there for Fernander. This is the 4th British reliever coming into the game. Meanwhile, Skubal and Holmes for the U.S. have combined for 11 strikeouts and just 3 hits allowed, including the Eaton homer. Eaton has all 3 hits for the British. And now after the 5-run bottom of the 5th inning for the United States, where Clement got aboard to start the rally on an error and scored the game-tying run, he'll lead things off in the home half of the 6th for the United States. He swings at the first offering and pops it up foul. Ford lost it for a moment, but it ends up falling back behind the net anyway.
Did he lose it, or did it hit the ceiling?
It may have actually hit the ceiling. You're right. And if it did hit any of the railings in foul territory, which in that case it would have, it's a dead ball anyway. Ball and a strike on Clement. Ernie will take a strike. 1-2 the count. Told you from Rochester, New York, Ernie Clement, huge hockey fan, and jumped at the chance to represent the United States as a fan of the movie Miracle. Lines a shot into left field, a base hit. And a story of the 1980 U.S. hockey team resonating with the New York native.
He is such a gamer. Every time I see him play, I am so impressed. You know, he reminds me a lot of Whit Merrifield when he was first starting out with Kansas City. Just a hit machine, able to drive it every now and then. But this guy's jersey's all dirty.
Now he gets aboard to lead off this inning. First time that the U.S. has had the leadoff man on base in this game, and Clement dives back into the bag. PCA followed up Clement reaching base in the 5th inning with that double down the right field line. PCA has represented the United States a bunch, going back to the time that he wasn't even a teenager yet. He was playing for the USA 12U national team 12 years ago. He was 11 then. He's 23 now. And one of the young stars in Major League Baseball playing for Chicago.
I saw that the other day, and he was the pitcher, and Paul Skeens was his catcher.
Isn't that nuts?
It's amazing. Somebody else was on that team also. I'm trying to remember who it was. Another star on there.
He'll take one low.
Takes a catcher to make a great pitcher once again. Paul Skeens started out as a catcher. Now look at him.
That's what they always say. It takes a catcher to make a great pitcher.
All the time. Yachty, what would you have done without Yachty and me? Bueno, just think how different your career would have been.
Runner takes off. Clement on his way to second. The throw by Ford, not even close. That was a great jump by Clement. It was a great throw by Ford, but Ernie was already well on his way to a steal. And he's into scoring position with nobody out. You're thinking about Mason Wynn? Is that who you're thinking about? That was a teammate of PCA and Paul Skeens. They all played on that same U12 team, the U18 teams, the U16 teams.
Yep.
Mason Wynn might be the best defensive shortstop going right now.
Yeah. Good as it gets.
Here's Kyle Schwarber. His 2-run blast gave the U.S. the lead in the 5th. He had a 3-run shot against Great Britain in the pool play opener in the 2023 WBC. And then obviously many remember that shot he hit off of Yu Darvish in a 10-pitch at bat in that thrilling USA-Japan final.
And that's what he's gotten so good as the years have gone on. He's got better and better plate control. He hardly ever goes outside the strike zone. He is just really good at making the pitcher come in the zone, and he does not miss thigh-high pitches.
2 on, nobody out. Schwarber takes outside.
He is so short. He's so short to the ball with such power. It's amazing the way he stands so relaxed with his hands. There's very little movement. He is direct to the ball, and when he clips it out front, we saw how far it could go.
It's one of the things that has made him over the course of the last several years a viable leadoff man. The fact that he has such great control of the strike zone. Body type is not traditional to the spot, but he gets on base at such a high clip. Mark DeRosa asked him, are you married to the leadoff spot? He said, no, I'll go wherever you need me to go in this lineup. He's made an impact as a power hitter. Now he's made an impact controlling the zone again. He walks to load him up.
I talked to Schwarber before the game during batting practice. He said, United States went from the fastest leadoff hitter in Bobby Witt to the slowest leadoff hitter in me.
Oh, man, that's some impressive self-awareness, if nothing else, as you saw Miles Langhorne loosening up. There's Paul Skeens. Seeing one of his teammates on base in PCA from back in the day on the U.S. team. They're loaded up for Bregman, the former Houston Astro who has tagged 96 career home runs in this ballpark. He's at the plate with the bags loaded. Doubled and scored in the 5th. Verlander deals and right down the pipe, a strike. Bregman kind of golfed at that one. Ends up being that tough changeup. Nothing in 2 the count on Bregman. Only Lance Berkman, Jose Altuve, and Jeff Bagwell have hit more home runs in this ballpark. 0-2 pitch. Tried to hold up. He did.
And what you do as a pitcher against lineups like the USA have that don't chase outside the zone, you have to throw balls that look like strikes and strikes that look like balls. They have to come out of your hand. They're going to take a lot of pitches that come out ball to strike, and they're going to swing a lot of pitches that go strike to ball.
1-2. Bregman swats it to right field. Thompson is there, makes the catch. Clement is off from third. PCA on his way to third. Another run is in. Bregman drives one home, and it's 6-1 USA. First and third with only one out for Judge. The crowd buzzes again as the captain stands in against Fernander. A ball out of the hand, Waino.
Yeah, they're just not going to offer those.
This is just similar to last night. The U.S. just waits them out, They too many walks. As soon as the other team makes a mistake, just a little crack, they jump right through it.
Judge lines one sharply to left field towards the wall. It's off the fence. This will drive home Crow Armstrong. Schwarber took a big turn around second base, and he'll go diving back to the bag. An RBI single for Judge, and it's 7-1 USA.
I think this almost took the wall down right here. It only got about 8 feet off the ground. I was expecting that to hit the warning track, and it just slammed into the left field wall. Watch how low this ball stays after he hits it. He just... Goodness gracious.
Just a crunch. Did he take out a panel?
Yeah, he took a panel out.
He took a panel out of there. Thankfully, it didn't disrupt one of the scores, but there goes the inning. And that'll do it for Fernander. The U.S. has tacked on 2 more RBIs from Bregman and Judge, and it's 7-1. Welcome back to the World Baseball Classic on Fox, presented by Capital One. A 110-mile-an-hour rocket from Aaron Judge busts the panel on the left field scoreboard at Dyken Park. Part of a 2-run 6th after a 5-run 5th. The U.S. has taken a 7-1 lead. Miles Langhorne is in the game. Milwaukee Brewers prospect going into his 2nd year in the Milwaukee organization, undrafted out of UNC Charlotte, and the son of a British man will take over here for Fernander, and it faces Bryce Harper with 2 aboard and 1 out. Harper seeking his first hit of the night. He's 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch and scored in that 5th inning.
I know we've talked about how the U.S. has waited them out, but I do think as they go farther into this tournament, they're going to have to do some more stuff early in the game with some other great relievers on other teams.
And skips in from Langhorne. Back to the bag at second goes Schwarber.
Harper saying, "You hit me last time. Don't hit me again."
Snare by Ford behind the plate. .3-0 to Harper. He'll take all the way a strike. Ken Rosenthal is down in the field.
Adam, I'm sure Team USA would not use this as an excuse, but talking to Trace Thompson before the game, he said, hey, you got to remember something. It's spring training for the hitters. You cannot expect these guys to be as sharp as they normally would. Again, perhaps as the tournament evolves, that sharpness will heighten.
The stakes, the intensity, the reps, all of that goes up. Harper bangs one on the ground. Roller to the right side. Grabbed by the first baseman Murray. Trying to flip to the bag, and the covering Langhorne. Harper beats it out on an infield single to load the bases here in the 6th.
Just perfect placement. That's a knock for Bryce Harper. Just absolutely perfect placement. Not what he wanted on a 3-1 hack, but he'll take the knock. And to Ken's point, also I'm going to say this. As the intensity picks up, the next 2 games, Mexico and Italy, they're going to continue to get more focused. Bobby Witt got 7 at-bats last night. Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, these guys have double digits at bats in this tournament. The intensity will pick up. Their adrenaline will pick up. Listen, no offense to Great Britain and Brazil. The next 2 games are the games for the U.S. in pool play.
Got a bunch of Cal Raleigh fans waiting until Will Smith came up chanting, "We want Cal." Raleigh and Smith, a pretty good catching tandem.
It's not very nice. Will Smith is pretty good.
He's pretty great. He threw out a runner already. And of course, last time out, it was JT Realmuto and Will Smith.
I mean, he's got 3 World Series rings.
Two 2-0 on Will Smith. Off day tomorrow for Mark DeRosa's crew, and then those games on Monday and Tuesday against Mexico and Italy. Tapper foul, 2-1. Top 2 teams in each pool. Each of the 4 pools advance to the knockout rounds. Pools A and B are matched up. Pools C and D are matched up. Winner of one against the runner-up in the other in each quarterfinal matchup. 2-1 is high, 3-1. That makes up the quarterfinals, and obviously the winners all advance.
Mark DeRosa nailed it. This is a perfect game summer ball tournament. Got to get out of pool play, and then once you get out, it becomes single elimination, and one game you can go home. You can be the best team.
Smith strokes one to the gap in left center field, and a long run. What a play by Robinson. That will score Schwarber from third. A frozen rope, and a nice job by Robinson to get there. But another sac fly in the inning, another run across. It's a 3-run 6 for the United States.
That
Smith
ball was absolutely sauteed. It's a tough play because he thinks he knows where that wall is, but man, it almost caught him more than he caught it. It was on him quick.
Not quite Towles Hill, but it'll surprise you out there in center field. Nice play by Robinson and left. 2 on and 2 out for Henderson. And a 2-run double in that 5-run 5th inning. And therefore a strike. Nice cutter there from Langhorne.
You know what I really like watching from our vantage point, which is right behind home plate high? Watch the base runners. Watch Aaron Judge at second with his secondary lead. How far he goes out. He goes out hard, gets back fast. The runner at first, Bryce, watching him in case something happens. It's just these guys think of everything. They're into these games, and the fundamentals, the little things are what make these guys so great.
Well, the teams that have won this thing, the United States, Japan 3 times, the Dominican Republic, that has always been a common thread. The guys that are very detail-oriented, the teams that are very detail-oriented. Fouled away, still 1 and 2 on Henderson. Because, as the point Ken just made and what you guys have been discussing, for most of these guys, it's been a short camp. Not just the U.S., for every team in this tournament. Unless you've been playing winter ball, you're pretty much coming in cold within a couple of weeks of your camp or your minor league team, or maybe you just got done with a pro season late last year. The teams that come in sharp or sharper and ready to go seemingly come out on top. There's Paul Skeens, who's slated to pitch in a couple of days for the U.S. Two on, 2 out, 3 across for the U.S. Henderson takes upstairs. If Gunnar Henderson were to hit a home run here, that would make it an 11-1 game. That would be a 10-run lead. And going into the 7th, that would put the U.S. in run rule territory. 3-2 now.
Gunnar Henderson has seen 20 pitches in his first 3 at-bats. throw another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 27 pitches in 4 at-bats for Gunnar Henderson.
Isn't that a common thread that we see throughout these lineups? Runners go. Henderson punches it on the ground to short. Grabbed by Lewis. Tough throw, and it's not going to get there. Short hopped that ball. It was slowly getting there. And Henderson beats it out to load the bases again. Now, that being said, we're going to get a challenge likely from Bradley Marcelino.
I thought it was really close, but we're going to see here on the replay.
Great Britain is challenging the safe call at first base.
That was close.
That was closer than I thought, actually. I think he beat it, though.
I think so too. Maybe. Yeah, I think maybe the foot was down in the bag right before it started to get there. Tough to tell, but that was a difficult throw with Lewis kind of backing up. He was almost in between in his form. And that throw ended up kind of being short armed to first base.
We got to get Bryce just to stand up, though, and like, woo, you know, do the, got to throw it around me, because Bryce kind of ducked a little bit going around second. Yeah, he's safe right there.
And there's the probably as definitive of a look as you'll get. Close, though, with that ball getting close to the webbing of B.J. Murray's glove.
Worth the challenge.
Worth the challenge.
Calling the field is confirmed. The runner is safe. Great Britain is out of challenges.
So the British can't challenge anymore. I understand what Marcelino was thinking there. Hey, it's already a 7-run game. This thing is slipping away. Might as well give it a shot.
The British can't challenge the United States anymore. It's been 250 years.
Well done. Well done.
Oh, goodness. Right on cue, a Boston player comes to the plate as well. Bases loaded yet again. 2 down, and Roman Anthony will take a strike. This is the second time that the U.S. has been able to bat through a lineup. Roman Anthony takes a big cut at a cutter, 0-2, and Langhorne trying to finish off this frame with no more damage across.
Good timeout here for Roman. The pitcher was almost quick pitching him. Roman steps out, gets it back on his terms.
And that goes into the glove of Ford on the foul tip. That'll retire the side. But the U.S. adds 3 more as we head to the 7th inning. It's 8-1 United States. 8-1 U.S. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play the great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, scan the QR code or go to playball.org. Follow Play Ball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. The familiar sounds of Renegade for the Pittsburgh native. David Bednar, former Pirate, now Yankee. He'll step in after 3 strong innings from both Tarek Skubal and Clay Holmes. Takes over in this top of the 7th inning as we hit the late innings, and it'll be 3, 4, and 5 for the British, starting with Harry Ford. He's looking for his first hit of the night. He was at the plate when Nate Eaton was caught stealing by Will Smith to close out the 6th inning.
That feels like an hour ago.
It may have been just about.
Because the U.S. saw, I think, 40 pitches that last inning.
Going through 2 relievers in that last frame. Popped up by Ford, not a play. Still just 3 hits for the British, all from Nate Eaton, including the first pitch homer he hit. Clay Holmes, as you talked about, Waino, after his outing is getting a few more opportunities to throw. Get a little extension on it. He only needed 38 pitches to get through those 3 frames. Bednar pitching in his 2nd World Baseball Classic.
He was one of my favorite teammates from this WBC in 23. Had an incredible year the year before. Tough year after that, and then he came back so strong again. Last year, great to see him out there closing games again.
27 saves between Pittsburgh and New York. So far in this tournament, just 1 walk issued by the United States. And there's the 28th strikeout dealt in the first 2 days of this tournament for the U.S. as Ford goes down swinging.
Yeah, just a perfectly located fastball on the out corner right there. That's what David does so well. He has such great fastball command. He works up, in, and out, down, wherever he wants.
B.J. Murray swings at the first pitch, pops it up out to center for Pete Crow Armstrong. 7 pitches to retire the first 2 batters, and the rest of the lineup outside of the leadoff man, Nate Eaton, are 0 for 19 with 12 strikeouts in this game.
Including 3 from who many people consider their best player in Jazz Chisholm.
Yep. Mexico will be the next opponent for the U.S.
What kind of atmosphere you think is going to be in here for that game?
Going to be awesome on Monday. We'll have it for you on Fox on Monday night. Joe, John, and Ken will be with you. Bednar deals and drops in a curve for a strike. As the U.S. sees a pinch hitter from the British, it's Matt Koperniak, who was a starter yesterday for Great Britain. 0 for 2 with a couple of walks, playing in the outfield yesterday. He's in there for Christian Robinson. Foul back, and it's 1-2, and a chance for a 1-2-3 frame from Bednar out of the bullpen.
There's got to be a little deception in Bednar's motion because he's not throwing 100, but these guys are constantly late on his fastball. So there's some deception. There's something, Waino, in that motion that throws hitters off.
And Koperniak goes fishing at that nasty splitter. A 1-2-3 shutdown inning tossed by Bednar, and it's stretch time in Houston. The U.S. 3 runs away potentially from a run rule. Capital One game summary. The first pitch of the game against Tarek Skubal was knocked out of here by Nate Eaton. He's got all 3 Great Britain hits. Of course, while the U.S. was struggling, Adam Wainwright was rooting them on with a little bit of patriotic paraphernalia. And that led to Kyle Schwarber opening things up in what was a 5-run United States 5th inning. They added 3 more in the 6th. After a sluggish start, 8 runs since the 5th.
After that first batter, Waino was yelling the British are coming until he got that ginger jacket out and whammo.
Well, there was one clear highlight in all that, right? I mean, that's, you know.
Here's a very familiar face. Second World Baseball Classic for Britain for the 38-year-old Vance Worley. Started against Adam Wainwright and Team USA a few years ago in that World Baseball Classic. And, of course, longtime major leaguer, got an opportunity to pitch for Great Britain again in what very well may be the last professional outings of his very long career. Continues to teach baseball lessons out in New Jersey. Former 3rd-round pick by the Phillies. Koperniak stays in the game to play in left behind Vance Worley. Upstairs towards Clement. It's 3-0. Almost 100 starts, more than 150 appearances across 8 years for the Phillies, Twins, Pirates, Orioles, and Marlins. Finished his big league career almost a decade ago, but still loves the game. Still loves to be out there, but a little rocky to start his outing here in the 7th. A 4-pitch walk to Ernie Clement. So you got PCA coming up. Again, we told you earlier there is a run rule in pool play. PCA will take a strike. Suddenly, the winning run is on deck for the United States in Kyle Schwarber.
There's a couple of bats in a row that PCA's taken the first pitch. That's probably a good sign. The Cubs like seeing that. I mean, it's an interesting thing, right?
Hits one out to right. Thompson started back, comes in. He's got it. One away. Throw down to first base, but back in is Clement.
You don't want to take his aggressiveness away, but you do want to see more pitches, see more pitches in the zone. And I think what you said about Alex Bregman being his teammate, helping him with his approach and thought processes might be a real thing.
Yeah, and I talked to him this spring already, and he said that was something he wanted to get better at, is pitch selection. He's not going to lose his aggressiveness, but he just wants to swing at better pitches, because when he gets the ball somewhat in the zone, he can do serious damage. Let's not forget, he went 30-30 last year.
Yeah.
And gets away momentarily from the first baseman, Murray, but not far enough to let Clement advance. Schwarber to the plate. Now Bregman represents the potential game-winning run in the on-deck circle. Upstairs to Schwarber to start. One former Philly to a current Philadelphia Philly. They'll take a strike on that knuckle curve that drops in. Worley finished third in the NL Rookie of the Year voting all the way back in 2011. Schwarber rolls one over towards second. Chisholm can't get there. Clement will turn on his way to third. Schwarber gets one through. And now the winning run in Bregman will come to the plate.
Vance Worley was part of that incredible 2011 Phillies pitching staff.
As a youngster.
Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, both finished top 3 in the Cy Young, I believe. Cole Hamels, he might have been top 5 as well. Roy Oswalt.
What a nasty staff.
Those top 3 guys, they all had 30-something plus start.
What'd they win that year, though?
What's that?
What'd they win that year?
No, they didn't win. I was trying to remember who they played. Great staff, though, AJ. Great staff.
Who won the World Series that year in 2011?
Just, don't want it to be all about us, AJ.
Okay.
You guys are like great stand-up comics. Just the setups keep coming for the eventual punchline. You guys should take this show on the road.
I wasn't going to mention it.
You guys should take this show on the road.
That was my first year working the postseason with Fox, and I was at that World Series that the Cardinals won.
In one of the great World Series of this century, certainly, maybe one of the greatest ever played. Rangers, Cardinals, one of the most unbelievable Game 6s that's ever been played in any playoff series.
Didn't you win an Emmy that year?
Bregman skies it. That's going to head towards the railing.
That hit the railing.
Could this be in play? It is going to fall. I think it's going to be ruled dead ball because it hit the railing in what is considered foul territory.
Okay, so if you go down on the field, from where we're sitting, it looks like that's kind of close, but if you actually go down on the field, that whole railing is way foul.
Yep.
Man, that is, I think I might have seen that one time, a lot of games here. That's the 3rd time we've seen that.
I've never seen that until this. We've seen 3 times in 2 games.
Some sky balls. Bregman hits one hard towards left center field. Long run for Eaton. He will flag it down. Good speed there. Clemento will score. Another sacrifice fly for Bregman. And it's 9-1 United States. And now it'll be Aaron Judge to the plate, still representing the winning run here in the 7th.
He could hit a home run. He could hit a walk-off home run right here.
It'll only be the 2nd ever.
No, be the 3rd. There's already 2 today.
There's 2 today. I didn't realize that. Judge fouls it away. So we had Ozzie Albies earlier today for the Netherlands, and Panama and Puerto Rico were going down to the wire. I'm guessing you're telling me there was a wild finish in that game. Darrell Hernandez, the walk-off in the 10th. So there had never been a walk-off home run in the first handful of tournaments. We've had 2 in one day, and if Judge hits one here, it would be another.
Does that count, though? Does it count?
I think it still does. If you're gonna play run rule and you hit a home run and the game is over, you're walking off the field, aren't you?
That's a walk-off.
Yeah, usually a walk-off means you're tied or behind the home team.
For those of you guys who love your wordplay. Judge out to center field. It won't get done here. Eaton will come in to make the catch. United States adds another run on the Bregman sac fly. It's 9-1 as we head to the 8th inning. Well, this is going to be a meaningful 8th inning for the 6'3", 31-year-old right-hander Griffin Jax, who split his time last year between Minnesota and Tampa Bay. The first ever graduate of the United States Air Force Academy to appear in an MLB game. And he gets to represent the United States at the World Baseball Classic for the very first time. Yvonne Johnson will lead things off here in the top of the 8th. U.S. leading by 8.
We talk about what it means to wear that USA on your chest or whatever the country is that you're from, but think about him. He graduated from the Air Force Academy, was in the Air Force. His wife is, I believe, still in the Air Force.
Savannah is a captain in the Air Force.
And now he gets to represent his country in the biggest tournament, international tournament that he can play in at the moment. It's a pretty awesome story.
Spent his 60-day leave after graduating from the academy in 2017, making his pro debut. He had 5 minor league appearances, and then he got pulled into active duty for 2 years. So he served active duty, was also part of the what's called the Air Force World Class Athlete Program, which allows soldiers to train for Olympic Games as part of their active duty. And also allows you to participate in athletics as he gets the strikeout of Johnson. All that being said, though, in that short period of time, as you see another U.S. Air Force Academy graduate, Paul Skeens.
No, he didn't graduate.
Not a graduate,
he went there.
An attendee.
He said, I'm not doing the whole thing. I'm going to transfer to LSU.
That's right.
Win a national championship, be the first pick overall.
Also, a choice that seemingly has worked out for him. But for those first
both are great choices.
True.
For those first couple of years, part of that program is you can't get paid. So he was playing minor league baseball and not collecting a check. Now, he was collecting a paycheck through the government as Nick Ward, the pinch hitter, climbs in and takes a strike. Now, after a little while, he was able to resume a minor league career as a professional after he finished that stint in the Air Force, but he is still part of the Air Force Reserve, serving the remainder of his 5 required years. You get some flexibility with that as well. You serve about right around a month per year, 25 to 30 days per year. But an incredible story, and obviously with all of that backdrop and context, this is an incredibly meaningful day for Griffin Jax, the right-hander.
I don't know what his paycheck was coming in from the Navy, but it was probably more, or it was the Air Force, sorry.
Air Force.
Air Force. Was probably more than his minor league check would have been.
I was going to say, some people would say you didn't get paid a lot in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
So the fact that he couldn't get paid, well, it was about equal, because you could lose some money in the minor leagues back
definitely.
in the day.
Ward skies one towards the railings up there. Will not make contact, and it'll be the right fielder, Judge.
We keep seeing Paul Skeens in the dugout. We have Clayton Kershaw on this roster, and I know they're trying to, they want to make sure they get him in the right positions, pitch or whatever. I wouldn't think it would be such a terrible idea to have him in the dugout with the spikes on, and then, the game situation allows, hey, head on down, but just to have him rubbing shoulders with some of these young pitchers would be invaluable for these guys. I mean, it's one of the greatest pitchers of all time on the roster.
Trace Thompson fouls one.
Sitting down there with the starting pitchers. I know he's doing the same thing with the relievers down there now, but to be in the dugout with your starters, man, I'd be sitting next. I'd be his shadow this entire time if I was a young pitcher on this roster.
Yeah, but maybe Clayton wants to sit down there and hang out with the bullpen guys. That's a new experience for him.
Yeah, that's.
Maybe he's tired of dishing out all his info to the starters. He's trying to spread the wealth to the relievers.
Yeah, maybe.
One of the great left-handed pitchers in Major League history. Looking at his former teammate with the Dodgers and Trace Thompson at the plate. Ahead of the count on Jacks, 2-1. Therefore a strike, 2-2.
There's one of the other great left-handers of all time right there.
Andy Pettitte.
All-time most playoff wins and one of the all-time great people on this earth.
I mean, this is a loaded staff as well. Pettitte's your pitching coach. Got Matt Holliday on staff. George Lombard and Dino Ebel. David Ross, Freddie Gonzalez, Brian McCann. A lot of Atlanta Braves connections. Called strike 3. Pair of strikeouts for Jackson. A 1-2-3 8th inning. A 9-1 United States lead. They had IndyCar today in Phoenix, and tomorrow same track, but it'll be the NASCAR Cup Series on FS1. The Jewel of the Desert in Arizona. It's the Straight Talk Wireless 500 tomorrow at 3 Eastern on FS1. Here's Bryce Harper. Current Philly against former Philly. Worley into his second inning of relief. Tagged with a run and a hit in the 7th. Now faces Harper, who's been aboard twice tonight.
By the way, that NASCAR promo, we don't show the guy who won 3 races in a row on the middle of the... I mean, wouldn't you think he'd be right front and center of that thing?
Jordan team, right?
Yeah.
Tyler Reddick has had a great month. Two 2-0 on Harper. New catcher in the game catches that one, so Harry Ford gets a breather, and Willis Cresswell, Will, is into the game behind the plate. A little bit high, and it's 3-1 on Bryce. Cresswell, a current Toronto Blue Jays prospect, drafted last year out of Washington State, doing the catching now. Harper crushes one down the right field line. It is hooking foul. Three-two pitch. This time Harper goes the other way. Perniak's the new left fielder. He gets his first test of the night, and he's got it for out number 1. Will Smith almost had a home run. It was robbed in the 2nd by Trace Thompson. Since then, he's walked twice and hit a sacrifice fly. And that sac fly required a great play by Robinson in left field before he was taken out of the game. There's Ken Griffey Jr. right in his same spot as he was yesterday, taking those photos.
He's got to be careful with this color selection there.
Smith out towards right. Thompson's there.
Well, he had the blue on for USA yesterday when they played, and then today he's got the red for the British.
Well, here's the thing.
He did that on purpose.
Here's the thing, though. Brazil and the U.S. both have blue. Britain and the United States both have red. So I just think it was probably his most comfortable gear. Good to see Ken Griffey Jr. here as the global ambassador for the World Baseball Classic and a photographer in his free time. He's had his camera both of those games of pool play for the U.S. so far. Our statistician Ed Svita is wondering, is he going to rip his jacket off and show some kind of United States paraphernalia underneath? Because as Adam Wainwright will tell you, that was the catalyst to turn things around tonight.
I mean, look, I don't have to say anything. The proof is in the pudding.
I think much of America was left speechless after they saw you rip your jacket open. Hard hit ball from Henderson down the right field line. It is going to one-hop the fence. Grabbed by Thompson. Henderson is going to slide into second base, and he's there with a double. A 2-out knock. And once again, in run rule territory, the United States will bring the potential winning run to the plate in Roman Anthony.
Gosh, he hits the ball hard, doesn't he?
That was crushed off the bat.
He just hits the ball so hard.
A little bit of a down year last year for Henderson relative to where he'd been his first couple of full seasons. And, boy, he might be primed for a very strong campaign. Here's Anthony, 1 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts tonight.
Gunnar was one of those guys last year. I think he hurt his oblique in spring training, got off to a late start. You know, as a player, when you get hurt in spring training, you're rushing back. Yes. Rush. I got to play catch up.
Man, so many times you see a guy miss spring training and start so slow afterwards. It's like in the NFL, you see a guy miss those couple games, or they sit out, they don't play in the preseason. They always look a little rusty, don't they, to start the season? Same thing in baseball.
Three balls and no strikes on Anthony.
You letting him go right here?
Oh,
3-0?
am I ever?
I thought you might.
I'm telling him to end this game right now.
Yeah, this is danger zone for Vince.
It ends up being a 4-pitch walk. Potential winning run is on base now as Anthony draws it with 2 outs, and Ernie Clement will come to the plate. Barry Enright will head back out to chat with Worley. And U.S. will be back at it after an off day tomorrow on Monday night. Getting set to take on Mexico. Pool, as we mentioned, that they're matched up with, this being Pool B. U.S. would be matched up with a team out of Pool A. That's why that Panama-Puerto Rico game was so fascinating. Again, a game that Puerto Rico takes. So now Puerto Rico at 2-0 in Pool A. Canada got a win earlier today. And the top 2 teams between Canada, Colombia, Cuba, Panama, and Puerto Rico. Top 2 teams in Pool A will get matched up, assuming the U.S. gets out of Pool B. As it stands right now, Mexico and Italy each with victories so far. U.S. trying to move to 2-0 with a win tonight. Clement takes outside.
Vance is going on fumes here, AJ.
Yes. You saw Barry Enright, their pitching coach, go out there trying to give him a breather. He's just saying, please, just get one more out. We get to hit again.
No swing, and it's 3-0 on Ernie Clement. The 38-year-old Vance Worley. At this point in his career, he's thrown a lot of professional innings, has battled through age and injury. Clement gets the 3-0 green light and fouls it 3-1. Worley's mom, Shirley, was born in Hong Kong while it was under British rule. That's why he gets to represent Great Britain. When he floats one inside, back-to-back walks after the 2-out Henderson double, and they're loaded up for Pete Crow Armstrong. And the winning run is in scoring position at second now. Oof, big cut on that floating curve.
He's just thinking, stay inside the ball, shoot this to left, right? Probably not. DCA's got visions of grandeur here.
Fouls it away, 0-2. We would see Jazz Chisholm bat one more time if Great Britain comes up in the top of the ninth. We'd see Eaton as well, who's got all 3 Great Britain hits. Nobody else for the British has reached base tonight. Eaton had the home run on the first pitch of the game off of Tarek Skubal. First pitch fastball, he took it out. He's had an infield single, a single in a caught stealing sense, but nobody else has even touched a base tonight for the Brits. 1-2 pitch. Ooh, close, but inside, and it's 2-2 on PCA.
And those are, when you're kind of gassed out there, those are the ones you really need as a pitcher.
Yep. 42nd pitch for Worley. Crow Armstrong will take called strike 3 down the middle. And indeed, we will head to the top of the ninth. The United States 3 outs away from finishing this off. Good effort from the 38-year-old Vance Worley. From one Philadelphia Philly to another, Brad Keller spent last season out of the Chicago Cubs bullpen. Averaged nearly 10 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched. His velocity was the best it's been in his entire career. Now 30 years of age, out of Georgia, he averaged a 97-mile-an-hour fastball last season out of the Cubs bullpen. Opponents hit just .211 off of his fastball. He's got an excellent sweeper and slider to mix in with it. It'll be a pinch hitter here. Wallace Clark, switch hitter, will step in for Ian Lewis Jr. Then back to the top in Eaton and Chisholm. Clark fouls the first pitch from Keller. It was a fastball at 95.
Just another little guy taking the mound for the U.S.
Yeah.
Walking through that clubhouse yesterday. These guys are huge.
6'5", 250-pound Brad Keller, going into his 9th major league season. 6 years with the Royals, spent time with the White Sox, Red Sox, and Cubs, and after a strong year last year, a 2-year deal with the Phillies. Fouled away, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Skeens, Holmes, Bednar, Keller, Judge, Skubal. I mean, these guys are tanks.
Cut from Clark, picked up by Smith. And a strikeout to start the ninth. Still, nobody from 2 through 9 in this British lineup has reached base tonight.
Right now, they're 0 for 24 with 16 punchies, Adam. Besides Eaton, who's 3 for 3.
It's not bad.
Strong night for Nate Eaton. First pitch of the game, the home run. He's played a solid center field.
As impressive as the home run was, obviously, I mean, like, you know, he's sitting dead red fastball, first pitch of the game. That one he shot to right off Clay Holmes was really impressive.
Bouncing ball to third, foul.
You can take 95 down below the knees, stay inside and shoot it to right. That's impressive.
That was single back in the 6th inning you're talking about, Wayno.
I'll take the homer.
Yeah, I mean, those different situations, right?
Call it strike 1 and 2.
It's so cool early in this game to see so many different teams represented, so many different jerseys in the stands, and everybody chanting USA, USA, singing the anthem. Doesn't get much cooler than that.
Eaton pops it up. Keller's Phillies teammate Harper is there to retire Eaton for the very first time tonight. And the British down to their final out. The U.S. trying to move to 2-0 in pool play. Another Philly right there. Three strikeout night for Jazz Chisholm. Backdoor slider just missed. 1-0. Popped up foul and out of play. 1-1. USA and Mexico on Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on Fox. That'll be the next outing for Mark DeRosa's crew. Three and one. U.S. pitching has only dealt one walk in the first two games of their pool play. That was from Mason Miller in the 9th inning yesterday. 3-2 down to the final strike of the night. Brad Keller home with a 3-2, and he strikes out Chisholm to finish it off. A 2-0 start in pool play for the United States.
Just a dominant pitching performance from the United States after the first batter of the game. Tarek Skubal, 17th K. Tarek Skubal to Clay Holmes, to the rest of the bullpen. Bednar, Jax, and Brad Keller. The Schwarbomb gave him the lead, and the USA dominated the Brits once again.
They capitalized on an opening. They got that error that just what they needed. Maybe a little glare from the Great Britain pitcher walking off the mound. Something fired him up. Could have been a jacket. Who knows these things? But there was timely hitting, great pitching. So far, the first two games we've seen, the starters have absolutely dealt. Bullpens come in and handle business.
Perhaps some sluggish moments in each game, but the results have been exactly what you want. 15-5 over Brazil and a 9-1 final over Great Britain to start off pool play 2-0. We'll wrap things up from Houston on the other side of the break. Great Britain got the first run of the game on the first pitch. The U.S. scored the next 9 and cruised to a 2-0 pool play start. Our Ken Rosenthal down to the field with Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle, you've hit a lot of big home runs in your career, a lot of no-doubters. How would you describe your 2-run shot in the 5th that gave Team USA the lead?
Oh, it's fun. It's electric, right? This kind of format where you just got a bunch of the best dudes on your team and got USA across your chest, and you can get a big moment, get it going, spark it a little bit, and it was awesome. The environment was great, and then we keep that inning going. Gunner with a big double there too, and man, it's just a lot of fun to be in this tournament with these guys and wearing USA across your chest.
Great Britain shut you guys down for 4 innings. What were the players saying to each other in the dugout? Was there a feeling that an eruption was inevitable?
Yeah, I mean, we all know what we have, and there's no need to go out there and try to do something. If we just stay within ourselves and take our at-bats, we know that we're going to do what we need to do, and we were able to crack through there. Ernie with the big hustle play there to start that inning off, and then it just kind of tumbled from there. PCA double, and then we just kept rolling and rolling and rolling throughout the rest of the game. It was great. Kyle,
you were part of Team USA in the World Baseball Classic in 2023. What is different about this group?
It's just, we feel like that we've done a really good job this year of trying to get everyone together and making this as close as we can. We know that it's going to be a short time, but we want everyone to feel like, one, this is a team. We're playing for our country here, and we want to go out there and we want to win this. It's new faces, but same letters across the chest. We didn't get it done 3 years ago, and now we want to get it done.
Kyle, thanks a lot. Congratulations. Adam, back to you.
His 3rd career WBC homer, his 2nd against the British. which gave the U.S. the lead in the 5th, and the Americans cruised from there, backed up by a pitching staff that fanned 17 tonight and has fanned 33-1 walk in the first 2 games to go to 2-0 in pool play. I'm Adam Amin for our great Fox Sports crew. Good night from Houston.